Izuku cries tears of joy for having his dream acknowledged by his idol. All Might tells Izuku that he is worthy to inherit his strength and proposes to give him his quirk, confusing Izuku. All Might says that his quirk can be passed down and has selected Izuku as his successor. All Might tells him that the name of his power is One for All. Izuku asks why All Might would give his quirk to him, to which All Might replies that he doesn't mind giving it to him, and because he shined more than any of the other so-called heroes during the sludge villain's attack on Katsuki Bakugo. After All Might's explanation, Izuku doesn't hesitate to accept the proposal. All Might begins to train Izuku in order for his body to be strong enough to inherit One for All. All Might has Izuku clean the Takoba Seaside Bay of its trash as a great way to strengthen Izuku's body for the next 10 months. As Yue's entrance exam begins by then, wanting Izuku to become a worthy vessel by that time. All Might gives Izuku an intense training schedule for the young man to follow in the coming months. During his training, Izuku overworks his body, and All Might notices that he has gone beyond the schedule they had agreed on. All Might scolds him for this, fearing it will have the opposite effect they were looking for. Izuku replies that he works so hard because he wishes to excel at UA and become a hero just like All Might. This gives All Might a brief insight into Izuku's passion for heroism. After 10 months of intense training, it is now the day of UA's entrance exam. Izuku has cleaned up Takoba Seaside Bay of its trash. As a result, Izuku's body is now more refined and muscular, which All Might claims is now a worthy vessel for One for All. All Might gives Izuku a piece of his hair to eat, much to Izuku's confusion. All Might says that it doesn't matter how he takes his DNA, but due to the entrance exam beginning in a few hours, he needs to inherit it immediately. Izuku arrives at UA High School in time for the entrance exam. As he is about to enter UA, Izuku trips but is saved by a girl's quirk. The girl wishes him good luck, which leaves him speechless, shocked that he managed to talk to a girl. Inside UA, President Mike explains how the entrance exam works, which begins with a practical test and then afterwards a written test saying that their goal in the practical test is to dispatch as many villains, which are actually robots, as they can to earn a high score. Izuku arrives at his designated battle center for the practical test of UA's entrance exam. Izuku resolves to use every ounce of power gained from All Might's training to pass the practical test. Just before the practical test of the UA entrance exam begins, all the participants stand in awe over the sheer size of the training field. Izuku notices Ochako Uraraka, the girl who had saved him from falling earlier, and wants to thank her, but he is stopped by fellow participant Tenya Ida. Tenya had yelled at him earlier to stop muttering in the auditorium. Tenya warns Izuku not to distract Ochako, while everyone else talks about how they've already counted him out of passing the exam. The exam suddenly begins, and everyone rushes inside the test area, leaving Izuku behind. He follows closely behind but is halted when an enemy robot worth 1 point attacks him. He is saved by Yuga Aoyama, who uses his naval laser to destroy the robot before moving on to others. Izuku scrambles around the area looking for robots to destroy, but finds that the vast majority have been taken out by other participants. Elsewhere, the panel of UA judges discusses what it takes to pass the exam, including speed, strength, and a calm mind. As the test comes to an end, Izuku finds himself sitting at 0 points when a giant robot worth 0 points appears. Everyone flees in panic while Izuku is paralyzed with fear. The robot smashes a few buildings and traps Ochako underneath the debris. As the robot moves closer, it threatens to crush the girl. Seeing the girl who helped him earlier in danger is enough to get Izuku up and rushing to her aid. Filled with adrenaline, Izuku conjures the power of One for All and uses it to leap high into the air and deliver a powerful smash to destroy the robot. All the other participants watch in awe, while the panel of UA judges praises Izuku for his self-sacrifice. Having used One for All for the first time, Izuku begins feeling the physical repercussions of his new quirk. His legs and his right arm are broken from his efforts. He free falls from the air and tries to use One for All to make a safe landing, but is saved by Ochako before he hits the ground. The practical test is then declared over, much to Izuku's displeasure as he blacks out. The other participants comment on Izuku's quirk, calling him incredible, wondering if he was intentionally looking weak to fool them. Tenya is the only one to take notice of his heroism and even questions if Izuku recognized saving others may have played a part in the exam all along. Izuku falls unconscious, but the school nurse and pro-hero recovery girl arrives to heal his injuries. 1 week later, Izuku receives his examination results, and after not talking to All Might during that time, he expects to fail. The school sent the aforementioned results via a holographic message inside an envelope, with All Might delivering the news. All Might apologizes for not contacting Izuku earlier and announces that he will be a new teacher at UA High. All Might explains that although Izuku did fine on the written test, he still scored 0 points on the practical, upsetting Izuku. All Might continues, showing him a video of Ochako asking Present Mic to give her points to Izuku because he saved her. All Might explains that the judges were looking for more than just defeating enemies. The judges rewarded rescue points for heroic deeds during the test. Izuku scored 60 rescue points, giving him more than enough to pass the exam. Following the practical test for the entrance exam, the judges panel reviews the student scores. They take care to notice that Katsuki Bakugo scored the most points, but without a single rescue point. Meanwhile, Izuku Midoriya didn't score a single combat point. Izuku meets All Might at Takoba Municipal Beach Park, where All Might congratulates Izuku for being accepted into UA High School personally. All Might then tells Izuku that he will have to keep adjusting to the one for all quirk, using the image of an egg in the microwave as a basis. Come April, the UA academic year begins and Izuku prepares to leave when his mother stops him and wishes him good luck. Izuku eventually arrives at Class 1A, hoping that perhaps Katsuki and Tenya aren't in his class, but these hopes are immediately dashed when he finds them both arguing inside. Tenya notices Izuku and introduces himself properly. Then, Ochako arrives and does the same while praising Izuku for saving her. Katsuki notices and recalls how he confronted Izuku after passing the test. He tried to bully Izuku for getting into UA, thinking he must have cheated without having a quirk, but Izuku stands up to him for the first time. Ochako is interrupted when Shota Aizawa arrives and reveals himself to the class as their homeroom teacher. He doesn't waste any time and hands out PE clothes to the students and leads them to the PE fields. Shota explains that the class will participate in a quirk apprehension test that will test their quirks since they were not able to use their quirks in middle school. Shota uses Katsuki as an example. Katsuki only threw about 64 meters in middle school, but after using his quirk, Katsuki proceeds to throw over 700 meters. At first, the students are excited to participate, but Shota quickly shuts them down and announces that the student who ranks last in total points will be deemed hopeless and immediately expelled. The class is shocked by his announcement and Ochako declares that the rule is unfair. Shota replies that the world is unfair and it's a hero's job to combat that unfairness. While the quirk apprehension test begins, All Might worries that Shota will single out Izuku almost immediately and goes to watch it in person. The test is composed of students competing in a series of physical tests. During the trials, every student uses their quirks to excel while Izuku struggles since he can only use one for all at 100% or not at all. Katsuki does well with each test thanks to the versatility of his quirk. The class reaches the pitching test and Izuku realizes this is the only test left where he can show off his abilities to avoid getting expelled. He tries to use his quirk to throw the ball, but it fails. Shota reveals his own quirk, the ability to erase other people's quirks. Izuku recognizes him as the eraser hero, Eraserhead. Eraserhead explains he erased Izuku's quirk because of the severe drawback. He continues to say Izuku's quirk will make him a liability and that he has no place at the school. Izuku is given one more throw, leaving him with the choice to either use one for all and fail the other test or not use it and fail this one. Taking Shota's advice into account, Izuku throws his pitch and at the last second, he concentrates one for all through his fingertips. The explosive throw gives Izuku a high score and impresses not only his classmates, but his teacher and All Might as well.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell so as not to miss new videos. Bye everyone.